In the ancient lands of Egypt, there was a unique god of shadows and silent graveyards, Anubis, the jackal-headed god, whose presence caused fear among those who crossed his path. The story of Anubis begins with his birth, shrouded in mystery. He was the son of Osiris, the mighty god of death and resurrection, whose reign over the afterlife was undisputed. Osiris ruled the realm of the dead, ensuring that their souls found peace. Anubis's mother, according to ancient legends, was Nephthys, the goddess of mourning and sadness. Nephthys, with her silent tears, was a melancholy deity, always in the shadow of her sister, the mighty Isis. But it was Nephthys who gave birth to Anubis, the fruit of her hidden union with Osiris. However, not all accounts agree on this mysterious origin. Some ancient stories say that Anubis's real mother was none other than Isis, the goddess of magic and the great protector. Isis was revered for her ability to manipulate the threads of life and death. Anubis grew up among the gods, but was always a being apart, different from his divine peers. His appearance was that of a jackal, an animal that roamed the deserts and haunted the cemeteries, a symbol of death and protection in ancient Egypt. From childhood, Anubis showed an innate affinity for the mysteries of death and the afterlife. His father, Osiris, taught him the secrets of the world of the dead, preparing him for a destiny that was connected to the eternal cycle of life and death. Anubis, he took on a responsibility of great importance. Known as the Lord of the Necropolis, his dominion extended over the cemeteries. Under the light of the sun and the gaze of the stars, Anubis roamed the tombs, ensuring that the resting places of the dead were inviolable, protecting them from desecrators and lurking dangers. His presence commanded respect, and his name was invoked in prayers and incantations to safeguard sacred places. In the sacred art of mummification, Anubis was master and guide. He was credited with the profound knowledge of this process, a skill he passed on to the priests and embalmers of ancient Egypt. With ointments and incantations, bandages and rituals, the bodies of the deceased were preserved, preparing them for their eternal journey in the afterlife. The Egyptians believed that the afterlife was a mirror of earthly existence, a realm where the soul continued its journey. Anubis taught mortals how to prepare their loved ones for this journey, ensuring that the spirit would find peace. At every funeral and at every ceremony marking the passage from life to death, Anubis's presence was essential. He guided the souls along the dark and unknown paths that led to the afterlife, offering them solace. He was the last companion of the dead in their passage to eternity. As a guide to the souls, he carried out one of his most important tasks, the judgment of the dead. This event took place in the Hall of the Two Truths, a place presided over by Osiris, the Lord of the afterlife. Here, the souls of the departed were presented for judgment, a decisive moment that would determine their fate. Anubis, with his penetrating gaze, brought the souls before the great scales. This scale was not merely a measuring tool, but a sacred symbol of balance, where the deeds and heart of the deceased were weighed. On one pan the heart was placed, and on the other the feather of Maat, the goddess of truth and justice. This feather, light as breath and pure as light, was the standard against which all lives were measured. Anubis watched with wise eyes as heart and feather swayed. If the heart was light, free of evil and regret, it was balanced by the feather, a sign of a life lived in truth and justice. The soul was then declared worthy and could continue its journey to the fields of Aru, a paradise of eternal happiness and peace. However, if the heart was burdened with sins and transgressions, it would outweigh the feather of Maat. At that moment, the soul would be rejected. Anubis, with a gesture, would signal the tragic fate of the doomed soul, to be devoured by Ammit, the devourer of souls, a fearsome creature with the head of a crocodile, the body of a lion, and the backside of a hippopotamus. This beast, sitting by the scales, waited with ravenous hunger for those whose hearts were declared unworthy. Judgment was a reflection of life lived, a moment of truth where there was no room for deceit or lies. Anubis ensured that each soul received its due, maintaining the balance between the world of the living and the dead. As time passed, the world of ancient Egypt began to intermingle with other cultures and beliefs, ushering in an era of transformation. It is at this point that Anubis underwent a remarkable change in his role. Osiris, increasingly revered as the chief god of the afterlife, began to assume many of the responsibilities once exclusive to Anubis. He became the central symbol of death, resurrection, and the afterlife, a role that partially eclipsed the importance of Anubis. But far from being forgotten, Anubis found a new purpose. He remained a pillar in the protection of the dead and the undisputed guardian of the secrets of the afterlife. His image, ever present in tombs and funerary rituals, remained an emblem of safety and guidance for souls on their journey to eternity. During this time of cultural exchange, when Greek influences mingled with Egyptian influences, Anubis merged with Hermes, the messenger of the Greek gods, known for his cunning and speed. This union gave birth to Hermanubis, a deity who combined the attributes of both gods. Hermanubis represented both the journey to the afterlife and communication between the gods and mortals. This new entity symbolized the passage of the soul, protection on the journey to the afterlife, and the wisdom needed to guide mortals in their communication with the divine. Anubis, either alone or in his merged form with Hermes, has remained an eternal guardian and protector of the mysteries of life and death.